My dad's presenting to potential buyers when he says it. My son built this platform alone, every line of code. I freeze in my seat at the back of the conference room, my coffee cup suspended halfway to my lips. The words echo in my skull like someone just fired a gun in a library. I'm not his son, I'm his daughter. And I wrote every single line. My name is Luna Chen. I'm 29 years old and I've been a software engineer since I was 19, building apps in my dorm room while other kids were playing beer pong. For the past 5 years, I've poured my blood, my sleep, my sanity into next-gen systems, the platform my father is currently selling to a room full of vultures in designer suits. But what he doesn't know, what none of them know, is that I've been preparing for this moment since the day I first suspected something was wrong. Not consciously, not deliberately. I'm just thorough. Some people call it paranoid. I call it professional. Every commit log, every design document, every late-night debugging session captured in my private journal, every patent application with my name as the primary inventor, every email chain, every Slack message, every whiteboard photo I ever snapped, all of it backed up, encrypted, time-stamped. I didn't do it because I thought they'd betray me. I did it because I'm an engineer. We document everything. Now I understand why that matters. The meeting continues. I watch my father, Robert Chen, 62 years old, silver-haired, impeccably dressed, the kind of man who shakes hands like he's closing a deal even when he's ordering coffee, click through slides on the main screen. Product architecture, my design. System infrastructure, my blueprint. API integration framework, 3 months of sleepless nights, all mine. Machine learning recommendation engine, my thesis project from Stanford, refined and deployed. He gestures to a particularly complex diagram, one I spent 47 hours creating, one that represents the core innovation that makes our platform unique in a market full of copycats. My son Tyler's brilliant vision made this possible, he says, not even glancing in my direction. His technical genius brought it all to life. One of the investors, a woman with sharp eyes and sharper cheekbones, leans forward. Your son is here today? We'd love to meet the technical founder. My father waves his hand vaguely toward the back of the room. He's handling other aspects of the business currently, very hands-on with operations. Tyler isn't in the room. Tyler is probably at the gym, or getting his third cold brew of the day, or flirting with the receptionist. Tyler hasn't written a line of code in his life. Tyler doesn't know the difference between Python and an anaconda. But Tyler is the son. Tyler is the legacy. Tyler is 6'2", with a jawline that could cut glass and the kind of effortless charisma that makes people forget to ask hard questions. And I am the technical one, the quiet one, the one who makes the magic happen but never gets invited to the magician's bow. The presentation ends. Everyone shakes hands. The investors murmur about next steps, due diligence, synergies. My father beams like he just won an Oscar. I wait until the room clears. Then I walk into his office. Dad. My voice is steady. I've practiced this steadiness. Why did you tell them Tyler built the platform? He barely looks up from his phone, probably texting Tyler to congratulate him on a presentation he wasn't even present for. Luna, honey, it's optics. Optics. Investors want to see a certain image, a male founder in tech. It's just how the industry works. You know that. I do know that. I've lived it. I've fought it. I've worked twice as hard to prove half as much, but I never expected to fight it in my own family. We had a deal, I say. 50-50 partnership, equal ownership, equal credit. He sighs, finally looking up, his expression somewhere between impatient and pitying. And you'll still get your share. The money will be the same. But Tyler has the right presence. He's confident, charismatic, leadership material. I built this company. You did the technical work, that's different. My hands are shaking, but I don't let him see. I've learned to keep my tremors internal, to weaponize my composure. In a world that expects women to be emotional, my calm is my armor. The technical work is the company, I say quietly. Without the platform, there's nothing to sell. He stands, dismissing me with his body language before his words catch up. Luna, I appreciate everything you've done. You're a phenomenal developer. But you're not CEO material. Tyler is. He'll take over when I step down. and the transition will be seamless because the investors already know his face, his name, his story. The door opens behind me. Tyler walks in, protein shake in hand, AirPods dangling from one ear. He heard the last part of the conversation. I wait, hope, pray, for him to defend me, to tell our father this is wrong, to show some shred of the brother I thought I had. Instead, he shrugs. Come on, sis. You knew this was always Dad's company. You're great with the tech stuff, but leadership needs a different skill set. People skills, vision, big picture thinking. Big picture thinking? I repeat. Tyler, do you even know what programming language the platform is built in? He rolls his eyes. That's not my job. I'm the face. You're the engine. It's a team effort. I look at my father's desk. There's paperwork spread across it, and I recognize the format immediately. I helped design the corporate document templates 2 years ago. New corporate structure. Tyler Chen, co-founder, CTO. Luna Chen, senior developer. Not founder, not partner, not creator. Just another employee in a company I built from nothing. They're erasing me from the story of something I made with my own hands, my own mind, my own sacrifice. What they don't know is that I've already made copies of everything. The original partnership agreement with both our signatures, every patent filing, every code repository log, every email where my father praised my work before he decided to pretend it wasn't mine, and I have no intention of making this easy for them. Dutter. Part 2. The systematic erasure. 2 weeks pass. On the surface, nothing has changed. I still arrive at the office at 7 a.m., still stay until 10 p.m., still solve the problems no one else can solve. The difference is invisible but absolute. I'm now keeping 2 sets of records, one for the company, one for myself. Monday morning, my phone rings. It's the restaurant downtown, the expensive one we use for investor dinners. Miss Chen, we wanted to confirm the cancellation of your reservation for tonight's investor dinner. I freeze at my desk. I didn't cancel anything. Oh, well, someone from your office called yesterday. The reservation is still active for the rest of your party. Just your seat was removed. I hang up and walk straight to my father's office. The door is open. He's reviewing spreadsheets. Spreadsheets I created, algorithms I designed to optimize our financial projections. Why wasn't I invited to the investor dinner tonight? He doesn't even look guilty. It was a casual thing, very social. Tyler handled it. You wouldn't have enjoyed it anyway. Too much small talk. Tyler's sitting in the corner on his laptop, probably watching YouTube videos of productivity gurus telling him how to pretend to be productive. He glances up. They wanted to meet the founding team. You know how these things go. Wine, networking, relationship building. Not really your scene. Not my scene. As if I haven't spent 5 years building every relationship that matters, with vendors, with partner companies, with the actual engineers who keep this industry running. What they don't know is that my former college roommate is now VP of Business Development at ArcLight Ventures, one of the investors in the room tonight. We had coffee last week. She asked why my name never comes up in meetings. I told her to keep watching. I don't say anything. I just smile. You're probably right, I say. Have fun tonight. Tyler looks slightly confused by my easy acceptance. My father looks relieved. They think I'm accepting my place. They have no idea what I'm actually doing. Sunday dinner at my parents' house. The whole extended family is there. Aunts, uncles, cousins. My grandmother, who still calls every Saturday to ask when I'm getting married. My uncle Richard, a retired corporate lawyer, asks about the business. Your dad says things are booming. The acquisition is really happening? I open my mouth to answer, but my father cuts me off with a hearty laugh. Luna does some coding work for us. Tyler's the real brains of the operation. He's got this incredible ability to see the big picture, to understand where the market is heading. My aunt beams at Tyler. That's wonderful, following in your father's footsteps. I try again. Actually, I designed the entire platform architecture. I wrote. My mother interrupts, placing her hand on mine with that practiced condescension I've known my whole life. Sweetie, don't brag. It's not attractive. Let Tyler have his moment. He's worked so hard. Tyler hasn't worked at all. Tyler's hard work consists of attending meetings I prepared him for, reading scripts I wrote for him, and taking credit for presentations I designed. But the family doesn't know that. They see what my parents have always shown them. The golden son, the disappointing daughter. I watch my grandmother pat Tyler's hand and tell him how proud she is. What they don't know is that Uncle Richard, the retired corporate lawyer, specializes in intellectual property disputes. He's been suspicious of Tyler's sudden technical expertise for months. Last week, he quietly asked me for copies of certain documents. I gave them to him. He's reading them now, probably over his evening bourbon, putting pieces together that my father never imagined anyone would examine. I eat my dinner in silence. Patience is a weapon, and I've sharpened mine for years. The third betrayal comes during crunch time. We need a critical system upgrade for the acquisition due diligence, 60-hour weeks, no weekends, the kind of work that leaves you staring at code at 3 a.m., wondering if you've forgotten how to be a human being. My father corners me in the hallway. Luna, the system upgrade needs to be done in 2 weeks. I know you can do it. This is what you're best at. I deliver it perfectly, on time, flawlessly functional, 3 days ahead of schedule. The next morning, the company newsletter goes out. We're proud to announce the successful completion of our system upgrade, led by Tyler Chen. His technical vision and hands-on leadership made this possible ahead of schedule. I find Tyler in the break room, scrolling through his phone, probably checking how many likes his LinkedIn post got. You didn't write a single line of that code. He shrugs without looking up. Dad asked me to oversee the project. Management is a role too, Luna. Oversee? You checked in once. For 15 minutes. You asked me what debugging meant. His voice goes cold. Maybe if you were better at communicating your value, people would see it. Not my fault you're invisible. Invisible. He called me invisible. What he doesn't know is that I've already been offered a position at Meridian Technologies, our biggest competitor. They've been courting me for 2 years. I've turned them down every time, out of loyalty, out of family, out of the naive belief that blood was thicker than betrayal. Last week, I called their CEO back. We're having dinner on Friday. Part 3. The quiet preparation. I arrive early now, work efficiently, keep meticulous records. Every commit includes my personal signature embedded in the code comments, invisible to casual observers, obvious to anyone who knows where to look. Every system I touch has a breadcrumb trail leading back to me. Every critical function has a dependency that only I fully understand. I'm not sabotaging anything. I would never do that. The platform is my creation, my child, my 5 years of sacrificed sleep and missed birthdays and forgotten friendships. But I'm making sure that when I leave, and I will leave, they'll understand exactly what they lost. My apartment becomes my war room. After midnight, when the city quiets down, I spread documents across my kitchen table like a general planning a campaign. The original partnership agreement, signed by my father and me 5 years ago. Equal ownership, equal credit, legally binding. The patents, 7 in total. My name listed as primary inventor on all of them. The company licensed my IP, but I retained ownership. A detail my father's lawyers missed in their rush to close the initial paperwork. The code repositories. My contributions, 94% of all commits. Tyler's contributions, 0. Email archives, 2,847 messages where I solved critical problems, explained technical decisions, debugged impossible errors. Tyler's name appears in 23 of them, usually asking questions like, "Is the website down?" Or, "Can you make the app faster?" Client communications. My name in 203 threads, handling actual technical relationships. Tyler's name in 41, mostly apologizing for things he broke. I organize everything into folders, label them with innocuous names, back them up to 3 different cloud services and 2 physical hard drives. Then I reach out to Maria, a tech lawyer I met at a conference 2 years ago. We meet for coffee at a cafe far from the office, somewhere my father's network doesn't reach. She reviews my documents on her tablet, scrolling slowly, her expression shifting from curious to impressed to something approaching awe. "Luna, you have more legal standing than you think?" "What do you mean?" "The core technology is yours. The patents list you as inventor. You have proof of creation for everything substantial. And this partnership agreement?" She taps the screen. "It explicitly states equal ownership and equal credit. The corporate restructuring your father did violates this completely. So what are my options?" She leans forward, lowering her voice. If they're selling the company and cutting you out, you have grounds to block the sale. Your IP rights alone could freeze the acquisition indefinitely. I sit back in my chair. I hold all the cards, the receipts, literally thousands of them. My father thought documentation was boring. Tyler thinks Git is a type of workout, but documentation is power, and I have enough power to burn everything down. The question is whether I want to. The answer becomes clear 2 nights later. I'm working late, as usual. The office is empty except for the cleaning crew. I hear voices from my father's office. He's on a video call, forgot to close his door. Once the sale closes, he's saying to someone I can't see, we'll phase Luna out, give her a severance package. Standard stuff. She won't make trouble. Tyler's voice from somewhere in the room. She's too technical to complain. Developers don't fight back, they just code and stay quiet. My father laughs. Exactly. She'll probably thank us for the money and go work at some startup. Win-win. I stand frozen in the hallway, my reflection visible in the window glass. A ghost of a woman they've already decided to erase. They think I'm harmless. They think I'm grateful. They think I'll disappear quietly and let them rewrite history. What they don't know is that I've just made my decision. I text Maria, let's move forward. She responds in 30 seconds. I'll have the documents ready by tomorrow. Bring everything. I go home. I don't sleep. I don't need to. For the first time in 5 years, I feel wide awake. Dutron. Part 4. The trigger point. My father announces a celebratory investor event for the following week, a formal presentation to the buyers before the final paperwork gets signed, the culmination of 5 years of work, the biggest moment in the company's history. He tells me I can attend. But no need to speak, he adds, almost as an afterthought. Tyler will handle the technical presentation. He's been practicing. Tyler's been practicing my architecture, using my slides, preparing to explain my code. The irony is so thick I could choke on it. Of course, I say pleasantly. I'll be there to support him. My father looks surprised, then pleased. That's very mature of you, Luna. I knew you'd come around. I smile. Family is family. What he doesn't know is that Maria filed a formal IP claim that morning. The documents are sitting in a legal queue, ready to be triggered at my command. One phone call and the acquisition gets a very uncomfortable letter from my attorney. What he doesn't know is that Uncle Richard has been making his own inquiries, quietly reaching out to old colleagues in the legal world, building a picture of what's really happening at Next Gen Systems. What he doesn't know is that 3 of our major vendors have received anonymous tips to review their licensing agreements. Agreements that list me as the authorized signatory. Agreements that become void the moment I'm no longer employed. What he doesn't know is that I've spent the past week building a new system. A complete documentation of every line of code I wrote, every innovation I created, every technical decision I made. If they try to claim my work as Tyler's, I have time-stamped proof going back 5 years. The investor event is in 5 days. I prepare my own presentation. The night before the event, I receive an unexpected phone call. Luna, it's Jennifer Walsh from ArcLight Ventures, my old roommate, the VP who's been watching silently from inside the investor group. Jen, what's up? I need to tell you something. Her voice is low, conspiratorial. The due diligence team found something interesting today. Your name is all over the technical documentation, but the pitch decks never mention you. Someone asked why, and your father said you were a supporting contributor. Tyler is listed as the technical founder on every investor-facing document. I know. There's more. We pulled the patent records. All 7 patents list you as the primary inventor. When we asked Tyler about the technical architecture in a private meeting, he couldn't answer basic questions. He didn't know what microservices meant. He thought Kubernetes was a Greek philosopher. Despite everything, I almost laugh. Sounds like Tyler. Luna, what's going on? This smells wrong, and I've been doing this long enough to recognize the stench of fraud. I take a deep breath. Jen, I'm going to tell you something, and then I'm going to ask you a favor. I tell her everything. The original partnership, the systematic erasure, the plans to phase me out. When I finish, she's silent for a long moment. What's the favor? Tomorrow, during the investor event, I'm going to need about 10 minutes. After Tyler's technical presentation, can you make that happen? I can make sure the room doesn't empty before you get your chance. But Luna, are you sure about this? Once you pull this trigger, there's no going back. Your father, your brother, They stopped being my family when they decided to steal my life's work. Another silence. Then, I'll buy you your 10 minutes. Make them count. Part 5. The Explosion. The investor event starts at 10 a.m. in the main conference room, the biggest space in our building, usually reserved for all-hands meetings and holiday parties. Today it's filled with suits. Investors, lawyers, advisors, the acquisition team from Helix Dynamics who want to buy the company my father thinks he built. I arrive early with Maria. We sit in the back row, invisible, the way they've always preferred me. My laptop is ready, documents organized in folders, timeline prepared. My heart is steady, my hands are still. This is what 5 years of being invisible has taught me: how to wait, how to watch, how to strike when no one sees you coming. My father begins the presentation with his usual confidence, his salesman's smile, his practiced charm. He thanks the investors for their partnership. He thanks the team for their hard work. He thanks Tyler for his technical vision. He doesn't mention me. Tyler takes the stage for the technical overview. He's wearing a new suit. I recognize it from his Instagram stories, probably cost more than my monthly rent. He clicks through slides I created, diagrams I designed, architecture I spent months perfecting. My design philosophy focused on scalability and modularity, he says, reading words I wrote. My coding approach prioritized clean interfaces and efficient data flow. My, every word is a theft. An investor, Jennifer, keeping her promise, raises her hand. Tyler, can you explain how you handled the authentication layer security? The patent mentions a novel approach and we'd love to understand the technical details. Tyler's confident smile flickers. Well, the algorithm optimizes for, efficiency and user experience. It's very cutting edge. Could you elaborate on the specific cryptographic methods? He looks at my father, who jumps in smoothly. We're getting into the technical weeds here. Perhaps we should move to the business projections. I raise my hand. I have a question. My father's expression hardens. Luna, we're in the middle of... Tyler, can you explain the difference between a microservices architecture and a monolithic approach, and why you chose the former for our platform? The room goes quiet. Tyler's face goes pale. It's about scalability and... Can you elaborate on how you implemented the containerization strategy? He looks at my father, panicking. I'd have to review my notes on the specific... What about the machine learning recommendation engine? Can you walk us through the training data approach you used? Silence. Tyler can't answer because Tyler doesn't know. Tyler has never known. Tyler's entire technical expertise consists of buzzwords he memorized from Forbes articles. I stand up, open my laptop. That's okay, I say, my voice carrying through the silent room. I can explain it, since I'm the one who actually built it. The room holds its breath. My father's voice is tight, dangerous. Luna, sit down. This isn't... Maria stands beside me. Actually, my client has legal standing to speak. Her intellectual property is the foundation of this acquisition. I connect my laptop to the projector. The main screen switches from Tyler's stolen presentation to my documentation. The first slide appears. Code repository statistics. Who actually built next-gen systems? Luna Chen, 47,382, commits across all repositories. Tyler Chen, 0 commits. The investors murmur. I click to the next slide. Patent ownership. Inventors of record. Patent 1, Luna Chen, sole inventor. Patent 2, Luna Chen, sole inventor. Patent 3, Luna Chen, sole inventor. All 7 patents. My name, no one else's. Next slide. Technical communications. Email analysis. 5-year period. Luna Chen, 2,147 emails addressing technical issues, architecture decisions, debugging solutions. Tyler Chen, 23 emails mostly asking questions like, is the website broken? I hear someone cough to cover a laugh. Next slide. The original partnership agreement. I display the document, signed by my father and me 5 years ago, when NextGen was just a dream and he needed my skills to make it real. Section 4.2, Equal Partnership and Credit. All partners shall receive equal recognition and credit for contributions to company development and intellectual property. I look at my father. His face is the color of old paper. Section 7.1, Intellectual Property Rights. Luna Chen retains ownership of all core algorithms and technical innovations developed prior to and during the partnership period. The company licenses these innovations but does not acquire ownership. Tyler tries to speak. Luna, come on. I turn to face him. You told the investors you built this alone. Show them one line of code you wrote. Just one. A single function, a variable declaration, anything. He can't. Because there's nothing to show. One of the Helix Dynamics lawyers stands up, his voice sharp. I'm sorry, are you telling us the alleged technical founder has never contributed any code to the platform we're acquiring? My father attempts damage control. This is a misunderstanding. Luna is a valued contributor, but Tyler provided strategic direction. Strategic direction? I pull up the next document. Email chains, hundreds of them. Here's Tyler's strategic direction. April 2022. Can you make the loading thing faster? June 2022. Why does the app look weird on my phone? October 2022. What's a database? The laughter is audible now, uncomfortable but unmistakable. Maria steps forward, handing a document to the lead investor from Helix. This is a formal legal notice asserting my client's IP rights. As the owner of the core technology being acquired, and as a partner whose contractual rights have been violated, Luna Chen is formally blocking this sale until her contributions are properly recognized and credited. The room erupts. Investors are closing laptops. Lawyers are making phone calls. The Helix team is huddled in urgent conversation. My father is shouting something about family loyalty, about misunderstandings, about how I'm destroying everything we built together. But I don't hear him. I'm watching Tyler, watching the realization spread across his face, the understanding that his entire identity, the technical genius persona he's been wearing like a costume, is being stripped away in real time in front of everyone who matters. Luna, he says quietly, desperately. You can't. We're family. Family doesn't steal from each other, I reply, just as quietly. Family doesn't erase each other. You had 5 years to do the right thing. You chose this instead. I walk out with Maria. Behind us, I hear the lead Helix investors say, we're going to need to pause this acquisition pending a complete IP review. This isn't what we signed up for. Part 6. The systemic collapse. The sale falls through within 72 hours. The official reason? IP ownership concerns, legal complications, due diligence failures. The real reason? No one wants to acquire a company built on fraud, but that's just the beginning. On day 4, the vendors start calling. Our primary cloud hosting provider, the one that keeps our servers running, discovers that their service agreement was signed by me as the authorized technical signatory. When they learn I've been forced out, they freeze the account pending verification of a new authorized signer. My father tries to add Tyler's name to the agreement. The vendor refuses without proper documentation that requires my signature to transfer. Suddenly, our servers are running on borrowed time. On day 7, the patent licensing agreements come due for renewal. Every company that uses our APIs, every partner that integrates our technology, every client that depends on our innovations, they all need updated licenses. Licenses that require the inventor's authorization. My name is on every patent. My signature is required for every renewal. I don't sign anything. On day 10, the insurance company flags our corporate policy. Apparently, our liability coverage is predicated on having a qualified technical officer on staff, someone with the credentials to ensure our systems meet regulatory requirements. That person was me. Without me, our coverage is invalid. My father's lawyers scramble to find a replacement. There is no replacement. The specialized certifications I earned over years of study and practice can't be transferred overnight. On day 14, the chain reaction reaches critical mass. 3 major clients, learning about the acquisition collapse and the IP dispute, request meetings. During these meetings, they ask technical questions that Tyler can't answer, can't even fake answering. They ask to speak with the person who actually built their integrated systems. That person is gone. By the end of the month, 2 of them have canceled their contracts. The third has paused pending clarification. I receive updates from Jennifer, from former colleagues who text me in secret, from Uncle Richard who's watching with a lawyer's professional interest. The whole building is chaos, one message reads. Tyler tried to push a code update and crash the production servers. He didn't know you need to test changes before deploying them. Your father hired 3 contractors to try to understand your architecture. They quit after 2 days. Said the code was too complex without documentation, and you were the documentation. The board is asking questions, hard questions. Apparently they never knew you weren't being credited. Your father kept them in the dark too. I read every message. I don't respond to most. I'm not gloating. I'm not celebrating. I'm just free. 1 month after the investor event, I receive a formal request. It's from my father, through his lawyers, through Maria. Carefully worded, legally precise, completely humiliating. They want me back. Not just back. They want to restructure the company with me as equal partner, as I was always supposed to be. They want to credit me properly in all documentation. They want to issue a public statement acknowledging my contributions. They're willing to pay for my compliance. The number they offer is significant, more money than I've ever seen in one place. I read the proposal 3 times. Consider it carefully. Then I write my response. Robert, I appreciate the offer. Unfortunately, I don't return to burned buildings, especially ones where I was thrown into the fire for optics. You had 5 years to do the right thing. You chose to erase me instead. I'm not interested in being recognized by people who only recognize me when they have no other choice. Attached, please find 1. A highlighted copy of my original partnership agreement, Section 4 and Section 7.2. Formal confirmation of my IP ownership from the Patent Office. 3. A timeline of my technical contributions versus Tyler's with documentation. 4. An email archive demonstrating systematic credit theft and exclusion. These documents have also been provided to the regulatory authorities overseeing software licensing in our industry. Wishing you compliance and clarity, Luna Chen P.S. You might want to check your authentication systems. There's a bug in the login module that I noticed 3 months ago. I was going to fix it, but I got phased out before I had the chance. Good luck. Part 7. The New Light. 6 months later, I launch my own company. It's called Foundry Systems. The name is deliberate. I build foundations, the invisible architecture that everything else depends on. 2 of the original investors from the failed next-gen acquisition reach out within the first week. They're not interested in my father's company anymore. The IP disputes made it toxic, but they're very interested in me. We saw what you did in that conference room, Jennifer says during our meeting. Most people would have cried or shouted. You just presented the facts. That's the kind of person we want to back. They invest $5 million in my seed round. Word spreads. My reputation, built over years of invisible work, becomes suddenly visible. Former colleagues reach out. Industry contacts who always wondered why my name wasn't attached to my innovations finally understand the story. Within a year, Foundry Systems has 20 employees and revenue that doubles every quarter. Our first major client is a Fortune 500 company that originally approached NextGen but walked away after the scandal. They tell me directly, "We wanted the engineer who built the platform, not the family that lied about who built it." My father tries to call once, leaves a voicemail. "Luna, we should talk, as a family. I know mistakes were made, but we can still—" I delete it before he finishes. Tyler sends a text. "I didn't realize it would go this far. I never meant for you to leave. Can we just talk?" I don't respond. There's nothing to say. They made their choices. They chose ego over ethics, image over integrity, the easy lie over the harder truth. I don't hate them. I just don't need them anymore. The final chapter writes itself. Next-gen systems, struggling with technical debt, client departures, and a reputation that can't be repaired, eventually sells. Not for $50 million as my father dreamed, but for $8 million in a distressed asset sale. Tyler is not part of the acquiring company's plans. Neither is my father. The buyer? Foundry Systems. I purchase my own creation back, stripped of the family that tried to steal it from me. The irony is perfect. On closing day, I walk through the old NextGen offices one last time. The motivational posters are still on the walls. The conference room where I revealed the truth still has the same chairs. I stop by my father's old office, my office now. On the desk, I place a single document. It's the original partnership agreement, the one that promised equal credit and equal ownership. On the cover, I write 5 words. I was the platform. Then I walk out, into the sunlight, into the company I built twice, once in shadow, once in light. For everyone who's ever had their work stolen or their voice silenced, document everything. Your receipts might save you one day, and when they finally see you, really see you, make sure you're standing exactly where you belong, at the top.